Welcome, everybody.
Happy Friday. I love it when I get to say that when we're actually doing it on Friday.
It is a Friday.
It's exciting.
We're doing stuff a little bit more consistently now. It's been crazy this year.
It has been. Well, yeah. And it's only March, but that's okay. We'll take it.
Almost April. Welcome, everybody, to Motivate You, brought to you by Motivate Advisors, Motivate Investments. Great to be with each and every one of you on this wonderful Friday.
Wonderful Friday.
I can't believe it is almost April already.
I know. It's going so fast.
First quarter is almost over.
Yes. We hope everybody has had an awesome first quarter. Maybe just getting the momentum moving, but in the right direction.
Yes. How are your levels? Are your levels okay?
What? I'm deaf. I can't hear you now.
I just want to make sure you got to hear yourself.
Oh, I'm good.
I know that's important for you.
So I was listening to something. It was a podcast or one of our webinars the other day, and I just happened to get a phone call and I answered the phone. I was laughing. They said, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "I hate hearing myself talk. I hate hearing myself on video." And he's like, "I know you always sound so different when you listen to yourself." And I said, "Do you know why that is? Do you know why that is?"
I do not. Why don't you educate me, please?
Reason being, well, and I read this on the internet, so who knows if it's true.
It's got to be true if it's on Twitter.
When you're speaking, your skull, because of the bones and everything, causes a different
what?
Your brain, your skull.
Your skull?
Your bone. Your bone.
It's a skull.
Okay, hammock. Anyways,
Touché.
The vibration sounds different to you versus when it comes out and someone else is hearing that vibration. So that's why you sound different to yourself than other people.
It's also because you say words differently than everyone else. Most people say skull and you say skull.
Okay, hammock.
So it is a hammock. And I'll fight to the death on this thing.
Okay.
OCK is awk, right? Do you mock someone or do you mix somebody? You mock them.
Are we talking about you?
Are you worried about fair? Are you wearing socks? Or are you wearing six?
But it's just the way vernacular people say stuff. You don't
jock
say
strap or
hammock.
is it a jick strap?
Hammock.
I've always said hammock, but I come from a family where we washed our clothes too.
Yes, and you played Duck Duck Gray Duck.
Yeah, that's Minnesota. That's
right.
Minnesota's
Instead of
the only
Duck
one.
Duck Goose.
Yeah, it's Duck Duck Gray Duck. What's the difference of having a goose? It's the gray duck was a bad thing. It was a bummer to be kind of gray. It was like sad and gray and not healthy. You could be the purple duck. You could be a pink duck. You could be a polka dot duck. There's all different types of ducks you could be, but you did not want to be the gray duck.
Or the goose.
Yeah, we never played that.
Anyways, back on topic. Sorry for that little segue of nonsense.
Well, I think it's important that people understand that they've been playing that game wrong.
Right.
For their entire lives.
Right.
And that you and I say things different.
I would actually sit down and still play Duck Duck Goose. I don't think I could get up very fast and run, but that's okay.
I would destroy you in that.
Okay.
Speaking of, I just watched Chris walk by from the fishbowl and he's doing some dances. That was pretty good.
Nice.
Kind of like the client that was dancing for you yesterday. One of my clients.
Yes. That was quite entertaining.
It always
You got to love the clients that'll dance in your window for you.
We're just going to leave that. So anyway, back to Motivate You. This is a podcast that we try to basically just kind of talk about the industry, what's going on out there, what type of things can you do to help bring your practice to that next level. We always appreciate the feedback that we've been getting. It's been fun kind of watching this whole thing grow.
It's great.
And, the expectations for us is really just to kind of share what we've learned and help people, out there become better at what they do. We do run an FMO, a field market organization, as well as an SEC registered RIA named Motivate Investments. And a lot of these techniques that we will talk about on these shows, we bring them directly to our advisors and we use them. And that's part of the reason why we know it works, because I'm still personally using them every single day. And so I can sit back and say, here are my production numbers from the fact that I'm still running FMO, I'm running an RIA and my own personal practice. And here's the efficiency that comes from it. And you've been working with me now for what, 7 years? Poor thing.
Almost, I know.
Yeah,
but it's true. I mean, I love the fact that when we're training our advisors, when we're talking to them, when we're discussing things, everybody on our team is giving that knowledge and that experience from real world. We're doing it right now.
I just about dropped that coffee. You see that?
I would have laughed. No, I missed it. No, I missed Chris dancing. I'm missing you, Flub.
Well, we're taping this, so you can probably go back and watch my face because it was sheer panic. There was nothing cool about what I just did.
It was not graceful at all.
I'm pretty sure my face made of something I should never do again. So, but when we sat back in October, it was interesting. We did a town hall. I don't know if you remember this, but we did.
Yeah.
We did a town hall for Motivate Advisors, Motivate Investments, and kind of talked about the effect that we've seen on our industry and how digital marketing and all these different things have really kind of started taking a huge focus. It's been a big focus for people, but they're really struggling with it.
Right.
And they're trying to figure out how to succeed and how to get to that next level. And how do I utilize this? Because we know that last year annuity sales were down, depending upon the carrier, anywhere between 24 and 45%. That's a big change. We saw, people not moving assets from AUM very quickly at all. We saw people starting to really use IUL strategies for tax protection and sheltering and things of that nature. So it was a really interesting year to watch what happened in 2020. And then what I've seen this year personally is it's been insane. It's almost like everyone that was in hibernation last year has now said, holy crow, we need to figure out what we can do to make this happen
on both sides, as the advisor and the client too.
Yeah. Or we're just doing a better job getting out to people because, last year we've talked about this for a long time. Last year, we know for a fact that people were looking for our help, right? Yeah. I mean, we know that. And so now it's just a matter of they're actually using it. They're out there, they're using the help, they're implementing it. And some of these things are a little bit longer term sales cycles than they used to be. And digital marketing is a different animal, and I want to talk a little bit about this. There was a audience insights piece that just came out from Snappy Crack. And I want to kind of dissect a little bit and talk and utilize their numbers and the stuff that they've worked on, but also tell you the real stuff that we've seen too, because a lot of it does align, but there may be some differences within this too. But we've learned that the digital sales cycle is a completely different animal, completely different monster. I remember when I was in BI and it was a business network, or was it BNI, Business Networks International, or whatever it was. And I remember going to these meetings every single Tuesday, 7 a.m. at the Golden Corral. If you guys ever want to smell what a dead body smells like, I'm pretty sure the Golden Corral at about 7 a.m. before anything's been cooked, it is pretty dang close. Anyway, we would go there and I was in the room with people that did tires and auto parts, and they painted, or they worked for an eyeglass company, or they did PNC, and they own gyms. They all, all these people did different things. Right. And what I learned quickly, without going into too much detail, is that I never got leads.
You were handing them out, but they weren't necessarily being reciprocated.
Right? But you had to hand out 3 leads a week or whatever it was, but I was never the one receiving.
Right.
And so, finally one day I realized when a person came in from working at a gym, they had a CrossFit gym, and the CrossFit gym's the expensive gym, right? It's $130 a week or a month or whatever it is. And they came in, they were doing like a $29 special for a month to try out CrossFit. And I'll tell you what, they blew up. Almost everybody in the room, just in our group alone, signed up for this $30 deal.
Yeah, jumped on it. Yeah.
And I realized at that moment, something was different. Our price point and the level of trust that's necessary for someone to work with us, in my opinion, is absolutely a completely different animal than if they're only spending $30.
I would say than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of professions, you're giving your trust to someone, but you almost have a tangible service in return right away. Well, if you go to a lawyer, you're getting some documentation, you're getting an estate, you're getting in a will, you're getting a trust. Whereas with our business, we have to establish that trust enough that a high net worth individual is going to say, I'm going to hand over my life savings to you and trust that you're going to do the right thing and keep me updated on it. A lot of people don't do that willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Sorry, I got to do it. You're 100% right, because I always tell a story about the rollerblades. I bought rollerblades. They're $300 or $250, whatever. I've ridden them a couple times, mainly because you make fun of me in one pictures. But
I still haven't gotten any, by the way.
I've ridden them a couple times, but I knew the risk. I knew that if I didn't like it, I was going to waste $250. But
it's an acceptable risk, though.
Right. Well, at least the one I was comfortable with. And to your point, not everyone's going to be comfortable with that. So the reason why I bring this up is that, one thing you've been stressing to everybody that we come in contact with is this is not a zero-sum game. This is not something that happens overnight, especially in the digital world. Right. However, once you plant the seeds properly, and you have the numbers to back this up today from this report.
Yep.
Once you plant these seeds properly and you do it the right way,
consistently,
or have someone else do it for you that actually knows what the hell they're doing.
Yes.
Which is even better. The results will eventually speak for themselves. Fair?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. And I think it's important to stress too, when we're talking about, today's focus is really on the digital side, on the social media side. There's 2 different ways that we look at this. So You guys, if you listened to us before, you know, we talk about the 4 C's. The catalyst is, what are you doing right now to get in front of people immediately? You can use social media for that. Now, that's advertising a webinar, a seminar, something that they are registering for, so you can deliver your message on a very short timeline, a day later, 2 days later, a week later, whatever the case may be. But on the other side, you're using social media for your cultivation strategies. So that's building up your brand, building up your reputation, providing good information so people see you on a regular, consistent basis,
Yep.
and then make the decision to move forward with you, because they feel a little bit like they know you, like they trust you.
Well, we've talked about this year becoming, showing really the fact that our catalyst has become the cultivate. We've been doing stuff like this for a very long time.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, boom, one day it hits, and it hits like crazy.
Right.
Half my stuff is cut off here.
Is it? You want
Yeah,
just the PowerPoint?
You're trying to make me guess on this thing, or what's
I
going
can
on?
give you the PowerPoint. That's what I'm looking at.
Top 10 interests of the individuals. Do you know these off the top of your head?
Yes, of course. So what we're talking about is, when you're looking for an audience, especially on Facebook, Facebook has specific interests.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, what is someone following? What do they like a lot? So, we'll go through the top 10. So when you're imagining, this is a filter that can be used on social media to help you get in front of the right person.
Can I digress just a bit?
Of course.
When you talk about the audience, what's really interesting for me looking at this is that almost 30% of 55-year-old to 64-year-olds and 65% plus are utilizing social media.
Oh, yeah.
And that more than half of them, 56%, are women.
Yes.
So when you're looking at the social media aspect, you've got to get past the fact of it being social media and thinking that your type of clients are not going to be on there.
They are on there.
Yep. If you're looking for the retirees, they're there. But to Cassie's point, most of your clients aren't going to go on to social media and then search out financial planning stuff.
Nope. Not
okay. So what you want to do to have a specific interest makes sense is you want to have a specific interest that the type of client that you're looking for would be interested in.
Correct.
So it's going to take some research on your part, but what are the 10 top interests?
So we'll give you a little cheat sheet here, guys. So
write them down, get a pen.
When we're looking at our top 10 interests, and some of them are kind of interesting, I wasn't expecting. Celebrity and entertainment news, online video is massive. Video is huge. If you're not using video, please start. Home decor, employment and career, cooking and recipes. And then you do see investment services as number 6.
Which is pretty impressive when you think about the fact that that's not high. I mean, you don't see dentists on here.
Right.
Right. So that shows you how much people are thinking about it right now because of the
retirement.
changes.
And it can fall under so many different categories. It can be education on it. It can be retirement. It can be investing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into some kind of, your general ones that you would anticipate: a home and garden.
That's you.
American football,
it used to be
pets. And then number 10 actually rounds out with real estate, which makes sense as well.
Right now it's blowing up.
Do you have someone who's retiring and looking to move? Are they downgrading? Are they upgrading their house? Are they retiring in a different area? Our market here in Florida in real estate is off the charts right now from people coming from up north and moving down here for a variety of reasons. Or are they using it as an investment strategy?
So a lot of the top 10 affinities would be cooking. They love news. They like to be up to date with things. Wellness is a big deal, and showing the way to increase mental wellness with having financial security is a big deal. Pets
again. There it is.
It's absolutely amazing what people will pay for their pets.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's crazy.
Or even, my feed is filled with dog videos, but I'm obsessed with dogs.
Your feed or your feet?
No, my feed.
I think I'm going crazy. I'm hearing different
We're
things.
talking about social media. Get with the hip terms, brother.
Okay. Thanks. But you do. Yeah. But I've also promised, you volunteer for pets. You do all these different things. But people are looking for value. That was one thing I thought was really interesting. Value, not necessarily the commoditized cheap advice, value. Book lovers, avid investors, which is number 7, people that love to travel, people that work a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could sit down and show people who work a lot how they can get more time with their family and still do the same type of thing. We run into that with advisors. What's one of our specialties?
Right.
We talk to advisors. Yeah, we want to talk about work-life balance. That's a big deal for motivated advisors. You should be able to be home with your family and enjoy it. What the hell else is it worth?
Right.
I mean, true story. We had one of our advisors just lost her brother this last week.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends lost his brother last week, 46 and 47.
That's so sad.
Right? There's
So
got to
young.
be some sort of work-life balance in there. And people are concerned, especially I think with COVID has brought a lot of that to light.
I think finding that balance, they see how important it is. People, they did enjoy being home a little bit and having a little bit more family time. The number of people that went out on walks, I'm sure you've seen them. There's tons of commercials. The dog's like, I don't want to walk anymore. But people were riding their bikes together and they were out with their family and they were, playing basketball, whatever the case may be.
You couldn't buy a bike.
Yeah, that is true.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So, not only do we have the idea of what their interests are, we got to be able to reach them.
Yeah.
So I know being down here, we're in Port St. Lucie is one of our offices. The other one's in Stewart, and we have the PGA golf course right over here. There's 3 different courses. And I know for a lot of the clients that I want to work with, they tend to golf. But I also know that I have a specific time period where I'm able to get a hold of them when they're not on the course. If I don't get them before they go, I'm going to have to wait until they get home.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But Snappy Kraken did a great job, really kind of showing traffic and when's the heaviest concentration for normal.
Yeah. So they broke it down and this was really focusing on click-through rates for landing pages. But if you guys know, most of the time you're seeing an ad, you click on something and then it takes you to a landing page. So imagine this is the second step in the engagement, but the first step is pretty instantaneous. So we really see Tuesdays between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Stop laughing at me. And then Thursdays between 10 and 12. So these are going to be your ideal times to be marketing to someone, to be sending out. Why are you still laughing at me?
Because my maturity level is like that of a 7th grader.
5.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
What did I say?
All I heard was instantaneous. And so I went with it. And I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody for my childish humor.
Yes, I apologize as well for his childish
humor.
Do
you need to rewind that and listen to it because I think you'll laugh after you hear it.
You called me out on another one too, Sam.
And I was right.
You were, unfortunately.
You fought me.
So anyways, guys, and it's funny, Mike is correct. So when we train our front desk position, and we do this for our advisors as well, one of the main rules is we teach them is if you are calling someone in the morning and they don't answer, the next step is to call them in the afternoon. You don't call them in the morning again, because eventually you're going to see a pattern of these people you can talk to in the morning, these people you're going to talk to in the afternoon. Remember that when you're calling prospects as well. If you guys are working your database, remember to change those timeframes and to track when you call them or when you didn't call them.
Absolutely. So, hey, we're going to take a quick break. In a second, we're going to come back, talk devices and browsers and where these people are actually getting this information from you. This might actually blow your mind. Hey, Cass.
Oh my God. Are you pausing this?
No, this is the commercial.
This is recorded.
Yeah, we're going to record this because what I want to talk about is our event in April.
Okay.
So Motivate Advisors, Motivate Investments is actually inviting you down to Florida, the Sunshine State, as long as you qualify to come down here for an orientation where we will fire hose the heck out of you on different strategies, different solutions that you can utilize to take your business to the next level.
Yeah.
I want to throw a little quick commercial in there. It's not the most professional way out there. I can have music behind it.
So our next one coming up is going to be April 22nd, 23rd. We try and make it really easy for you guys so you're not out of the office for a long time. So most of the time we have everybody come in on Thursday night, have a dinner, have some cocktails, hang out, just get to know each other. That's so important in this business. And then Thursday, like you said, fire hose the heck out of you with a whole lot of information, but good stuff that you can bring home.
Yep. And you focus on 2 or 3 of those things, take it to the next level. So how do they get a hold of us if this is something they want to see if they qualify for?
So you guys can call us. The best number is 877-766-8488.
One more time for the people in the back.
772-247-4488.
So April 22nd, 23rd, right down here in the Sunshine State of Florida. Make sure you tune right in.
Thank you for keeping my eardrums in check.
We're back. We're back. How about that?
That was a great commercial break.
Honestly, probably one of the best commercial breaks I've ever seen in my entire life. The professionalism, it's amazing.
Is on point. Let's discuss devices and browsers.
Devices and browsers, you say?
You're playing with all your devices over there. Yeah, like I said.
I like the sound effects. All right. Oh, should I tell the joke about the woman who had the baby?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, because it was babies anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So talk devices and browsers. What are you talking about? It's a desktop world, right? Oh, people only use their computers? You're supposed to say no.
No, and people only use their phones. No. So interesting stats. 44% of people use their desktop. 7% are using their tablet and 48% are using their mobile. So we can
Kind of crazy
see
about the tablet.
less.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, I
think
thought
it
the
would
tablet would be
more
better,
too.
but no one's using them anymore.
Well, probably because when you're on your tablet, you're at home or you're on a plane or something. And I think your phone is just like I have a really nice tablet at home. And the only thing I do on it is read. Otherwise, I'm on my phone and I'm on my laptop at work. So, I think you just use it a little bit less. But it's interesting. The desktop and the mobile are almost 50-50. Now, I'm sure everybody is aware of this. When you guys are doing something that is being kicked out on a device, please, please, please make sure it is mobile friendly. Mobile friendly means when you go to your cell phone and you click on a landing page and the numbers are all messed up and the graphics look weird and it's not lined up correctly, that means it is not built for a mobile friendly device.
It makes you look kind of like a hack.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't look good.
And then there's so much technology out there right now. We can help point you in the right direction. But, there's a lot of technology out there right now that can make these things plug and play. And all you have to do is a lot of times just hit a button that says, make it mobile friendly, and it will for you. So make sure you're testing these things and put them into place, because you don't want them to look bad. But, when we talk about that, a lot of it's going to come from the traffic sources. So when you're looking at how you're sending this stuff out, you've got your email, you've got your Facebook, you've got your LinkedIn, you've got your Facebook ads, you've got your Instagram,
Twitter, TikTok,
Parler, everything out there, Snapchat, whatever you're looking at. Now you got to find the one that's going to fit with your demographic, the one that's going to be the easiest for you to focus on. And the one that's going to have the most of the best bang for your buck from your demographic aspect.
Right.
But you want to make sure that when someone opens an email, 71% of, emails, that traffic is coming from emails right now.
That traffic source.
71.3. You want to make sure that it reads well in the email, right? You want to make sure that you know your demographic. I remember one time I had a marketing specialist come into my office, and he sat down and said, show me your most recent mailer for your direct mail piece for the seminar at the restaurant. Then I gave it to him. He said, well, how old are your clients? And I said, well, most of them are 60 plus. And he goes, Mike, I can't read this.
Yeah.
He said, the font is far too small. I can't read this. And he said, I'm in my 50s. If I can't read this right now, how easy do you think it is for your clients to read it? Or is it frustrating?
They're going to give it 2 seconds and pitch it in the garbage.
Throw it out. So you got to know who your audience is. You got to know what that's going to be. And then understand the difference between paid versus organic, which is a big difference.
Yeah. So when we're looking at your paid, obviously that's going to be your Google ads that are sitting on top, your Facebook ads that you're creating within the ads manager, setting a budget and a campaign to go and kick them off. And then your organic is going to be, what are you just posting? What are you sharing? What are you getting out there? For all of you who have your 65, I'm sure you guys know that the SEC just changed its rules on social media and testimonials, which is really exciting because now you can actually engage with people on your post. You can share their stuff. You can comment, you can post it. You can have testimonials. So this has really opened up a huge window to the investment side, to, the advisor that's on the SEC side that has their 65 to be able to really take advantage of these social media options and the different stuff you have available to you.
Yeah, that's a big deal, but you want to make sure you're also doing it correctly.
Of course, staying compliant.
You got to make sure you're really, really, really doing it correctly, because while they're going to give you a little bit of room, there's a lot of people are going to hang themselves with this thing. So make sure you watch out. One big thing too, though, is if I'm spending money on this, okay, and our industry has done a fantastic job, basically getting everyone addicted to the catalyst portion of their marketing plan, right?
Most definitely.
And only being in a catalyst situation.
Yep.
And so when you look at conversion rates from like Facebook, when you're looking at like things like ad boosting, Snappy Kraken does the ad boosting, or if you do it on your own or however you go about it, but you're doing a boost. Yep. You're looking at probably about a 13% conversion rate.
So in case you guys aren't sure, your conversion rate is the percentage of people that go to your landing page and actually fill out a name and an email for you.
Right. Same thing with an email.
Yep.
You're looking on average about 10.3%. Facebook organic 5.8, and you're looking at LinkedIn organic about 5.6. So what's important about this though is you're talking about like a 90% and more failure rate on a pretty consistent basis
across the board
from marketing, but that's not terrible, right? It's not a terrible thing. The big thing, what you're trying to do is give them the path of least resistance to get them interested in what you're doing, so then you can nurture them.
Right.
And help them. But I remember when we first started doing this, we really struggled to find out average conversion rates and if we were doing well. But, most of our emails right now are going 17, 18, sometimes 20%. So we're doubling what the normal average consumers, getting.
Yeah.
or
And I
doing.
mean, there's a lot of reasons why, which we'll kind of get into here in a little bit. What affects those conversion rates? What are the things that you have control of that help someone or hurt someone to click on that button or to sign your form?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And there's so many different things. I
There
mean, it's just
are, gosh.
so many different options. And which is why I always tell you, if you can get a professional help you or an organization that has the background in this that can do
Mhm.
these things, you're going to be so much happier moving forward with that. So
Right.
now, with this said, how many people have an immediate success within their conversions? Not many.
No, it's a tricky question because when we're talking, so people might click, but that does not mean they're coming in your office and setting an appointment right away. So when you talk about conversions and leads, a lot of times people will say, okay, we're going to guarantee you 100 leads, which is great. And in the advisor brain, they think 100 leads. So that's 100 people that are setting an appointment with me. And that is not the case. A lot of times they are designing leads as you've received a name, a phone number, and an email, and that's it. It's your job to convert those people into prospects and to get an appointment. And that's really where the nurture and the cultivation is so important.
Well, it's literally the most important thing, because how long do you spend time on an ad on social media? Most of us are just flipping through trying to find the next thing that catches our attention. And we become attention starved. Like we have a very difficult time paying attention as human beings.
Very small attention span. It's about 3 seconds.
But you're talking about a lot of these people see a big amount of their growth or potential 12 to 30 days.
90, yeah.
90, 60
90,
to 60 to 90 days.
90 days is a good average. And you need to consider doing that nurturing via, newsletters, videos, whatever the case may be, for a minimum of 90, I would suggest.
But there's nothing more than being out of sight, out of mind. That's the most, one of the most accurate things I've ever heard when it comes to social media, is when you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And that happens quickly a lot.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're basically putting in, the conversions in there. Now, how many interactions does it take?
So, I mean, we've been saying this for years. On average, if someone doesn't move forward, it can take 5 to 12 touch points before the conversion actually happens. So rather than, sending just random disconnected pieces of information to someone on, an email every 4 months because you remember to actually get one out, have a program, have a strategy, use technology like we have it with Automate with our CRM to have these things going out regularly for you. So you have a weekly touch point that is being sent out and, you're engaging with your prospects.
Yeah. I mean, those are some of the most important things. So the key component to having a strong strategic cultivation strategy is to make sure that you're doing things in a consistent fashion. That's why our 4 C's, catalyst, cultivation, consistency, and close, they're all interactive. They all work together. And as much as I want to be able to go through all these things, we're starting to run low on time. So I want to make sure when we come back next week, we're going to talk content performance. What type of content's out there? Because most people say to me, Mike, I want to make sure that I attract this type of person, or I only want this type of net worth, or I don't want this net worth, or I want this type of individual. The number one game in that whole thing, content. You got to have the content that's going to make sense.
Content is going to bring or disqualify those individuals that you do or do not want to work with. So next week we'll actually give some pointers and tips on best subject lines, landing pages, email headers, all that really important stuff.
Content, folks. This has been Motivate You. We appreciate you so much for jumping on. This has been brought to you by Motivate Advisors, Motivate Investments. Feel free to go check out the websites at motivateadvisors.com, motivateinvestments.com, MOTIV, the number 8.
Yes.
Is the way to go with that.
ADVIS.
And you can always give us a call if you're interested in checking out whether or not you qualify for the April event. Give us a shout.
Yeah, you guys can reach us at 772-247-4488. Again, I am Cassie Audifero. Mike Terrio. We'd be happy to talk with you guys. Give us a shout. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend.
Absolutely. Take care of yourselves. And again, thank you so much for what you do for people in the public. They need us more than now, more than ever. Thank you for putting yourself out there and putting them first. Have a great day. Motivate You is out.
Thanks, guys.